granted, I tell you. Q Quibble, utterly defeated, could only stand by as Thornton, with a weary sigh, approached the shelter. Grand Admiral, we've already checked the laundry, sir, meticulously inspected it. Remember, Grand Admiral, check the boilers. They were vibrating with rhythmic regularity. Sir, perhaps the focus should remain on structural integrity. He desperately tried to redirect Thornton's attention away from the imminent discovery. Don't you try and worm out of it, Quibble, Finchley interjected, feeling a surge of renewed, if precarious, energy. This time, you'll get the worm. You're finished. Cape it. Finito. Do you hear me, you scoundrel? Finito, Quibble. Finito. You say, perhaps not quite, Finchley. Your pronouncements of finality may be premature. Never mind. Quibble, I think we should hear the Admiral out. He seems quite insistent on this matter. Thornton's expression was now inscrutable, a perfect mask of disinterest that hid a deep well of growing, professional irritation. The Grand Admiral's onto you now, you rascal. Your time is up. Brace yourself for the evidence. Grand Admiral, the incontrovertible evidence of his nefarious doings. Finchley gloated, rubbing his hands together. Stand by, sir. Q Quibble suddenly bellowed, his voice filled with a surprising surge of authority, a desperate, last-ditch effort. Men, deploy, immediately. Execute Operation Diversionary Maneuver, Theta, right now, men. He gestured wildly towards the shelter door. From within the shelter, the sounds of scuffling and frantic whispers erupted. Then a small, wiry local performer, clad in a hastily donned sailor's cap, burst forth, tripping over a discarded coconut. Fire drill! Fire drill! Grand Admiral! An urgent, unannounced, and thoroughly convincing fire drill. Sir, a safety demonstration. Grand Admiral! To showcase our rapid response capabilities, he yelled, attempting a clumsy mock run from the shelter, flailing his arms for added effect. Finchley gasped, his eyes bugging out, his jaw dropping. Hey, Grand Admiral, here's your girls. Right here, I've got you. Now you're going to show your faces. You insubordinate sirens of the South Pacific. He lunged forward, trying to grab one of the rapidly disappearing figures, who, being far more agile, easily evaded him. At that exact moment, Pip, having somehow managed to slip into the air raid shelter via a cleverly concealed ventilation shaft, or perhaps just fallen into it accidentally during the initial scramble, emerged triumphantly, saluting Thornton with an elaborate flourish. His face was smudged with dust, but his eyes shone with a heroic pride. Ensign Pippin reporting fire drill. 100% successful. Sir, all personnel evacuated in record time. Grand Admiral, a triumph of safety and efficiency. Sir. Thornton stared at the utterly empty air raid shelter, then at the panting, triumphant Pippin, and then back at the sputtering, bewildered Finchley, who was now clutching his head in confusion. I'm sorry, Grand Admiral. I sincerely apologize for the enthusiastic, yet highly effective, display of fire drill efficacy. Sir, Q Quibble interjected, trying desperately to look as innocent and professionally responsible as possible. It's all right, Quibble. Admiral Finchley, you should know better than to obstruct a man pursuing his duties, sir. Even if that duty is to perform a rather ill-timed, yet cliffly effective fire drill demonstration during a surprise inspection. Thornton's voice was dangerously calm, laced with a barely concealed warning. Now, Admiral, please. Commander Quibble, all the girls are getting away, I tell you. The dancing maidens, the exotic, forbidden dancers. I can see them, Grand Admiral. I swear it. They're still in those suits, the revealing costumes. Grand Admiral. Finchley was now flailing wildly, pointing vaguely at the departing fire drill participants who were, to all appearances, merely regular naval personnel rapidly exiting the scene. Sure there are, Admiral Finchley. Of course they are. Sure there are. Your vivid imagination continues to serve you well, Admiral. Now, back to the sickbee, sir. I'll do it myself, if I have to. Admiral. Thornton seized Finchley firmly by the arm, and the Admiral suddenly found himself being unceremoniously escorted away by a man he had hoped to impress. Easy, does it now, Admiral? A nice, long rest, and you'll be as good as new. And if you're real good, Admiral Finchley. Perhaps you'll stop seeing dancing maidens in every shadow. Maybe you'll even get your mental clarity back. Such as it is, sir. Finchley, defeated and utterly bewildered, could only whimper, "Yeah, well, please. Grand Admiral, you got it all wrong. It's a conspiracy." "I believe you, Admiral. I believe you now, Grand Admiral. Come along. You're going to be all right. Goodbye, Admiral Finchley." Thornton waved dismissively to Q Quibble and Pip Pippin, a silent promise of future reckoning clearly visible in his stern grey eyes. "And we'll see you on visiting day, sir," Q Quibble called out cheerfully, a triumphant, if exhausted, grin finally spreading across his face, now that the immediate crisis had passed. "Perhaps we shall bring you a particularly vivid bouquet of hibiscus, Admiral, to inspire your imagination." Once Finchley and Thornton had departed, Q Quibble, surrounded by his weary but triumphant crew, finally collapsed into a deck chair, a long, drawn-out sigh escaping his lips. "I don't care where Executive Officer Pippin said to put those extra fire axes. They can't bunk in a nurse's quarters. That's just poor storage logistics, Pip. And a clear breach of the Geneva Convention, I imagine." He looked around, surveying the aftermath of their ingenious deception, a scene of utter, heroic, and barely contained chaos. "Hey, Commander Quibble, mail call," Spark Sterling shouted, jogging up with a single, pristine white envelope, held delicately, as if it might spontaneously explode. One card from Admiral Finchley. Q Quibble opened it, a wary eye for further traps, knowing Finchley's propensity for insidious mischief. He read aloud, his voice tinged with weary resignation. "My dear Acting Base Commander, having a wonderful time frisking on the sun-drenched sands of Melamali Atoll. A truly invigorating experience. I assure you, can't thank you enough for filling in for me like this. Your prompt assistance is noted, ever so fondly, Admiral Octavius B. Finchley. P.S. Please excuse the ink blots. My martini spilled. Also, tell Executive Officer Pippin, detailing its origins and tactical applications." Q crumpled the card in his fist, a furious glint in his eye. Martini spilled, indeed. That devious old sea dog, Melamali, Maya Foot. He's probably 3 miles down the coast, sipping gin and already concocting another insidious scheme to destroy my career. Just then, the field telephone rang again, its shrill, insistent cry cutting through the brief, hard-won moment of peace. Q sighed, a deep, world-weary exhalation, answering with a weary, "Hello, Acting Base Commander, Quibble here, reporting for another shift in the twilight zone of Bumfussel Atoll." He listened for a moment, then his face fell even further, if that were possible. "What? All right. All right. I'll have somebody come over right away. Another crisis." Another triumph for my burgeoning, and increasingly stressful, command, a veritable symphony of logistical nightmares. He glared at Pip Pippin, who was still beaming. "A job for your executive officer. Pip, yes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah." Q thrust the receiver at Pip, who fumbled to catch it. "I want you to get right over to the Seafarers Social Hall and fix those sinks, Pippin, immediately. The water's clear out to the dance floor again. Apparently, the plumbing has decided to mount another insurrection, and this time, Pip, try not to amputate any pipework with your innovative, yet clumsy, repairs, and Pip Pippin, despite the monumental, and frankly unsanitary, task before him, squared his shoulders with an air of immense self-imp. "Red shoulder, arms, Commander Quibble. Hard march, Commander. I shall restore functionality to the entire drainage system of the social hall. Forward, my trusty tools of plumbing. The cause of sanitation demands immediate and decisive action." He saluted, then marched off with an air of immense self-importance, a plunger held aloft like a battle standard, nearly colliding with Chief Bosun Bullock as he exited, who merely grunted in weary resignation. "Watch where you're going, Ensign Pippin, barging in here like that, for heaven's sake. Your clumsy enthusiasm could wreak havoc. I could have cut you too, you clumsy idiot." Bosun Bullock growled, rubbing his arm, having narrowly avoided a collision with Pip. Pip Pippin, caught off guard but recovering with a quick mental scramble, replied, "That's right, sir. You could have, and near mischief, which simply confirms the dangers of uncoordinated movement in a busy thoroughfare. What's the matter with you? You stand up straight like a man, for heaven's sake. Maintain your military posture." What do you want anyway? Chief, what are you now? Chief,